Okay, so we are into day 5. First thing I'm noticing about my character right now is that they're a little bit weepy. So I'm going to take one of these comic books. We'll consume that downstairs. And then I'm probably going to check the radio as the first point of order. I want to make sure I'm doing that every day, just in case we get some good info about upcoming weather. And of course, the helicopter event. We don't need to worry about that for another day, I don't think. Okay, that's helped with our sadness problem. We'll get something to eat. We'll grab a couple bags of chips as well to take with us. Light fog, some clouds, and nothing about air activity. Okay, so I'm going to head out. We've got some fog today, so I've got to keep an eye on that. We've also got some zombies clustering sort of in the field around me, which is somewhat of a concern. We're going to bypass them for now. I want to start by looting these nearby houses. Our first concern still is finding fuel. I know I've put a huge emphasis on this in the last couple of days, but it is incredibly important if we're going to survive the helicopter event and also keep our area relatively zombie free. I basically just want to check these cars. There is also a school not too far from here, just to our northeast. And that would be a really good place to loot as well, because not only is there a water dispenser there, but there's also a bunch of skill books. Keep my eyes out here. Okay, we have some gas. That's huge. I can't imagine it would be a lot, but everything helps right now. It's also possible that this car could have a key and be drivable. Now, this house has been looted. Shown by all the piles of rubbish on the ground. The sprinter. See, this is why you've got to be so careful, because if I'd attracted both of them at once, we could have been in trouble. Try and get this gas while we've got a moment to do so. Okay, not a huge amount, but honestly, a little bit more than I expected just from siphoning. Now, the next thing I want to do is just check whether there's a key, because this would honestly handle a lot better than the vehicle we have. I'm not keen on smashing a window, though, in Extinction, with the amount of sprinters and the likes. Lots of zombies up the street. Needs to be extra careful, to be honest. We'll check the basement. Oh, nice. We can carve a spear from this, which is actually something I really, really want. Now, I'd like to try getting to that vehicle there as well. Melee target outline turned back on. Very useful assistance tool. I'm sure a lot of people watching this already know about that. Couple more zombies coming in. One in this house somewhere. Or perhaps they're on the fence, I don't know. But they're making me, my character tense. Tend to get stressed very quickly from zombies knocking on objects nearby. Okay, it doesn't look like this one actually has gas. But we have a little bit. I might be able to survive on it, but it's going to be close. I would certainly like to get a little bit more just so that I'm safe. Fortunately, it's not looking like I'm going to get much further up this road with the amount of zombies there are. Now, the school is around like this area. So I can sort of just go down this road to the right here. We'll go a bit further down and there's like a little pathway that I think we can take. Now, one other thing that you can do, which I neglected to mention in the earlier videos that I probably should have, is if you're in a pinch for things like logs to turn into planks, you can actually just right click on these logs in the environment here and then hit remove log from the gardening menu. And it'll place one in my inventory. And that will actually allow me to get some barricades and stuff like that. So just something worth mentioning. So we'll head back out. And I'm going to start trying to make my way towards that school building. I'm going to check the vehicles in the parking lot. It's got a very large parking area, which if we play our cards right, we might be able to get a little bit more gas. And that will probably give us enough. Actually preserve the condition of my spear here if I can. Wooden spears not having much durability. I kind of want to preserve it as long as I can. So we have a survivor home there. That could actually be really useful. Now, survivor homes have particularly unique items and can have a lot of survival materials too. So there might be some good weapons in there. There might be gas. See, that person's got a really large backpack on and a sleeping bag. That is a survivor zombie. So we're going to try and draw their attention. I might be able to find an axe as well. So while it's not on my priorities list, it's a really good detour to take. Hey, miss, what have you got? Military backpack. That's huge to start with. And we've got a lot of good items in here. Gas mask filters. Aiming books are very, very useful. Chewing tobacco might be useful for me particularly. But a military backpack, that's big news for us. A lot more carry space. Maybe actually chew some of this tobacco because we are a smoker. I think this would probably work just the same. Yeah, it's immediately cleared our agitated status. So we'll keep working towards the survivor home on the basis that there might be more zombies like that. I feel like Extinction really tests your ability and knowledge of zombie aggro radius and how to manipulate them compared to standard apocalypse. Of course, I could use that fence, but that means clearing that larger group down below us. Okay, so we've got 3 coming in, so I'm going to back all the way up here. Different speeds to a couple of them. Now, the tent could be really useful. If you didn't want to go for like a safe house style run, and that is totally viable in Extinction, you could go for like a tent and a sleeping bag and go really rural with it. Go out somewhere in the sticks. But I don't particularly want to do that around here. Huge critical hits coming on right now. It's good news for us because the more time I have to loot this house, the better. Okay, now I can see just the foot of a zombie there and another one going by the door. Gradually making our way closer. And another one. I think actually the fact that they're coming out of this house is actually making this a lot easier. Because they're not constantly catching glimpses of me. It's just like the odd peek here and there. Just drawing them out one at a time rather than all at once. The biggest change that they made to visual cones was recently, within sort of like the last, I don't know, 6 months or so, was they made it so that you can't just see into buildings from really far away anymore and you have to be close to the building, which makes a lot of sense. And it definitely improved the quality of life of just running around. But man, it makes approaching a building so scary because you have no idea of what's inside until you get real close. I want to be extra careful as we clear this place because there's no guarantees it's empty. Kitchen certainly appears to be. Awesome. Okay, got some really good stuff here. All food, which we've got a lot of already, but still useful at the end of the day. Fridge is pretty packed as well. Nothing on these guys. Ooh, carving 2, that's huge. Annotated map, we give that a read. Okay, let's see where that is on the map. Louisville. Okay, well, not somewhere we're going to be going anytime soon. Forge 10 nails. That's like a really big recipe to get. There's some really interesting stuff you can find in survivor homes, honestly. Okay, rifle and some ammo. Now that is good. The likelihood of me using firearms at the moment is very, very low, but it is good to know that we have access to something, because there may be a time where I decide to put a firearm to use in this run. What else have we got here? Mechanics 3, explosives diagram, LA weapon plan again, carve bat. That is huge. Yeah, that's at level 9, carving. But carving can be very, very easy to level. Once you have an axe, carving is a pretty simple thing to look after. And honestly, carving is a great skill. Being able to make your own weapons on the fly. Can reinforce weapon. We've got a sapling there that I can turn into another spear. Plank to put up back at base. There's no light switch on this side. Only that one. Large handle. I'm interested by this one because I might actually be able to put that to use and change the handle on my garden fork, but I'm not 100%. Wow. Okay. Beta blockers. I mean, we'll take a pair of tweezers. We'll take the painkillers. fresh set of alcohol wipes. You know what? I'll take some bandages over rags any day. Okay. What I'd be interested to know is, can I move garden fork from back? We can disassemble it. Okay, so I think with a garden fork head and a long stick, we can actually assemble a new garden fork. By doing this, we can actually preserve the garden fork. So let's see. Dismantle, requires surface. There we go. I'm hoping this won't make a lot of noise. Our character doesn't seem to be emitting noise, but he's also hammering. Okay, drop that. And we're gonna assemble a very long implement with maintenance 1. And that should allow us to make a new garden fork using a long stick. Interesting, because most weapons need a handle. There we go. We have a new garden fork in perfect condition that will allow me to keep leveling my spear skill. So that's huge, actually. So I want to get across there. That's where the school is. And I think we can get through those zombies. Let's start clearing out a couple of these zombies on the way to the school. Nice. Dude, it is so nice knowing that I have a full durability garden fork again. And the instant kills are insane. Okay. Okay, quite a few more zombies down that way as well. Either way, I'm going to have to deal with a fairly sizable group at some stage. Yeah, so if I can bypass this group, it won't be too tricky. And we've got fences here to help me. So let's get around this hedge and come up through this way. Got beer next door. Having a party, looks like. Okay, I think I just heard a sprinter there. And there's a lot of zombies in the house, so I'm going to get distance immediately. I'm not 100% sure I heard a sprinter, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. If we see one coming in, I'm bolting. Get some distance straight away. And we're getting tired. I'd like to zoom in pretty close when I'm in combat, but Extinction demands that I zoom out a little bit more just in case a sprinter comes in. That's a decent tip if I could give just one to anybody in Extinction. It's when you're in combat, be prepared to have your camera further zoomed out than usual. It's so easy for one sprinter to come running out of the pack, make things much harder for you. Now, the upside to this, however, is I think I might be able to bypass these guys tomorrow because they've stopped following me. I think it should be easy enough just to get around them tomorrow. Excellent. We are getting tired. Shame we don't have carving book 1, honestly. We've got 2, but man, if we had carving 1, that would be amazing. I'm going to put that radio on just in case. We might still have some exposure survival on. Let's get that just while I empty out my bags. Electrical 2, aiming 4. Make a point usually out of getting most of the aiming books, even if we're nowhere near having the weapons to use it. Stick. We have a plank. Probably put that on a window. Here we go. Right, we have a lot of stuff to sort out, so I'm gonna probably spend the rest of my evening sorting through these items here, and then hopefully we can get back out on the road with the new day. And that will allow me to get looking for some gas. Keep an eye out for the helicopter. We got to retrieve this vehicle as well. But tomorrow, day 6, officially, the first day that the helicopter could arrive. So I think it's probably in my best interest to try and retrieve the van as soon as possible now. All right, day 6, 6 a.m. Now, what I did actually have an instance of while I was sleeping there was my character actually coughed during the night. However, it looks like we've gotten away with it for now. I want to listen to the emergency broadcast frequency because there is a chance now that we could start to see the helicopter showing up. So I do sort of need to make sure that I'm keeping an eye out. Okay, I thought we had a saw. I'm glad I found it. Yesterday I was looking for this. So this will actually allow me to get some barricades up. I'll do that with the first part of our day. And then we're going to get after that vehicle that we found last time. So let's go ahead, get these barricades up, make sure that our safe house is as secure as possible. I believe there's also a red van on the way that we might be able to get to, but it's going to be 50-50. So I'm not going to worry too much if we can't get to it. I'm going to put one on here. Possibly 2. Let's go with 2. Get 1 on this window. Make that 2. Got the empty gas can, and I'm also going to take the gas can that's got a little bit of fuel in it. We're going to go get ourselves that vehicle. We have some zombies in the field here that I'm probably going to need to take care of. Let's do a little bit of home maintenance before we head out. Not sure why all of a sudden my character is doing the long stab animation for like every attack, but hopefully that doesn't actually have an impact on the weapon durability or my attacks themselves. We'll just do some foraging on the way. Something that someone brought up actually in my comments that they're absolutely right about, and what I should have mentioned before, is that when you're foraging, if you crouch while doing so, it does actually very slightly increase the search radius, vision radius. You can't really see it, but you might just be able to see at the edge of the circle here when I crouch. The edge of it does push out just ever so slightly. It does make foraging a little bit better when you're crouching. The other thing as well, when you're foraging like this and you're crouching around, is that you also level your nimble skill. So shout out to that commenter. You know who you are. Thank you very much. I'm a little bit gutted actually that we haven't found a better vehicle than the van. And while there is a chance that we'd find a better one at the school, I want to make sure we've secured the van first. Helicopter can appear from days 6 through to day 9. We're on day 6 now, so there is a good chance that it could show up. So that's the van that I want to get to. I have a feeling that it could have some gas. It's in pretty good condition, so it could also have like maybe some gas cans in the back. Those trucks can have anything in them. Sometimes they can be like work vehicles, so I am intrigued. Let's put it that way. And I want to see if we can get to it today on the way back to retrieving our van. There are a few zombies next door to it on the left, but it looks like the right side is relatively clear, so I'm actually going to try and aggro them into this area. Now the big thing. Okay, it does not have any gas. Lock's broken on the back door. Also not great. Front door's locked. Man, okay. Not what I was hoping for, but... Oh, that sounded like a sprinter. Is it even aggroed? Pretty sure I heard a sprinter there. Thought I heard one. Oh, okay. Spear kills are just all manner of sexy. Okay, so let's get on to the van that we're retrieving. Could be some fresh zombies here, so I do just want to keep my wits about me. And just in case I missed anything last time, I will quickly check these cars for gas. I'm pretty sure we checked them all and that there was no gas available. And here she is, our not so noble steed. He is really struggling this thing, but it'll serve a purpose. I'll say that much. Now, I'm a little bit worried about this vehicle because their handling, to put it bluntly, is terrible. Their handling's not great. We don't have much fuel. So I'm a little bit concerned that we're going to go through fuel very quickly. We won't know until we try. So this is probably not going to be enough fuel. You know, actually, this thing's handling is not bad. Whether they buffed these again or whether this is just a different type to one I was thinking, I don't know. But it's better than I thought it would be. So I'm going to follow this road rather than going through the middle of town. I'm actually going to go straight across here, bringing out all the sprinters. Driving an Extinction is perilous, to say the least. I think I can just skirt across this field to get back to base. I'm trying to do this in a way that uses the least fuel possible. But you really do have to watch yourself on these tall bushes because they slow you to a crawl, as you can see. And their hitbox is bigger than you think. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to park this in a way that we have a very quick escape if the helicopter shows up. So thankfully for me, I think that's literally just going to be parked here on the driveway. Okay, this is going to offer me a quick getaway. Now, I still don't think we have enough fuel, so I'm actually going to try and go and get some more. I'm also going to leave the keys in the ignition. Now, it's not perfect, but it will work. Now, I'm going to get a quick hop up on water, and then we're straight back out there, and we're going to work towards the school, because anything I can do now before this helicopter shows up, get a little bit more fuel maybe, is going to be very, very important indeed. So have a little snack. By a little snack, I mean half a tub of peanut butter. We're off. We're going to try and get back towards the school as quickly as possible. Really trying to get the most out of this day because every second counts at this point. It's another thing with Extinction, just to keep in mind, is that you're on a much tighter clock than with Apocalypse. Even though the days are the same length, you're going to spend so much more time killing zombies that everything feels a little bit more pressured. Getting the supplies you need is going to take much longer. Getting a car up and running, getting gas for it, as you guys have seen, it's going to take longer. In Apocalypse, you can get away with surviving the helicopter event without a vehicle. And to an extent, we would be able to survive that in Extinction too. And we may end up having to. And that's just going to be me hiding in the basement in my house. But it's also going to make massive shifts and gatherings for zombies in the area. And it's going to make this a lot more difficult. Whereas if I have a vehicle, I can do that to somewhere else. Somewhere that isn't right in my backyard, so to speak. The alternative, of course, is that when the helicopter comes, if you don't have a vehicle and you need to outlast it, you can hide in a basement and then move. Change to a new base location, which might be what we end up doing because of our fuel being so low. But I would like to see if we can find a little bit more before I resign ourselves to that fate. I feel like we are really feeling the effects of not only a spear weapon, but also the level in spears that we have. This is making this so much easier. I do feel a lot more confident, but as you guys, I'm sure, are well aware, the majority of you having played a bit of Zomboid in the past, confidence is an insidious killer in Project Zomboid. It's very easy to get overconfident, and I'd say it's probably one of the easiest ways to end your run is overconfidence. Just want to see if I can get eyes on that car park, but can't quite see enough yet. It doesn't look like there's really much in it, which is not great. Okay, so there is a vehicle and what looks like a set of keys next to it as well. And I'm willing to risk a lot for that at this stage, because I understand that without a vehicle with a lot of gas, we're in a real pickle. So if there's a chance that that's a car with gas in it and a key, then I'm willing to go for it. Also one of my favorite vehicles, that one actually. Pickup truck. You've just got to be careful, because there could be sprinters anywhere at this stage. Condition of my shoes is not looking great. Let's see, what have these guys got? Sneakers, sure. Now, sneakers actually give you less bite defense. They also give you a slight buff to running speed. In Apocalypse, doesn't really make much of a difference at all. But in Extinction, that slight buff in run speed can make a big difference if you're going up against sprinters. You know, in Apocalypse, I would probably prefer to have some boots or something with high levels of protection to protect against crawlers. But in Extinction, it's definitely sneakers for me. Okay, these ones are better. They're in maximum condition. Okay, these ones are better. They're in maximum condition. The shed there that I wouldn't mind checking, but I've got to stay on task. There's only one vehicle in that parking lot, but if it runs, if it's got gas, that's the big if. I truly wouldn't mind checking out that shed. You never know what you're going to find in sheds you see. Again, tools, gas cans, anything like that are all possible finds in a garden shed. Man, it's these really slow zombies that make this so frustrating. It's like, you know, I'm wanting to get in there and clear it out and stuff while it's relatively quiet, because I know more can move in. Got to be careful because I don't have too much in the way of breathing room. I don't really have a cleared space. We need a moment to sit as soon as we can. This is when you can be most vulnerable in an Extinction run. The sprinters is when you're sitting. It takes the time it takes you to climb to your feet can sometimes be enough for them to get the jump on you. It's also worth noting as well, just a little fun fact for you. If your character is panicked, you actually stand up quicker from a sitting position. I don't know if that really makes much impact because by the time your character is panicked, you know, it means that they've been able to get close to you from behind, or, you know, you're already panicked at that point and you probably won't be sitting. So I don't really know if it makes much of a difference, but interesting little tidbit of info for you. I don't really feel comfortable using these fences because there's so many Zeds in the area that I kind of want to avoid. I can try and track this one over here. I'm not close enough to this truck yet to see if it's got any gas either. I'm so intrigued. I want to know. I must know. Vehicle on day 6 could be our saving grace, really. Of course, there's always a risk that the helicopter could show up any minute. I'm already on borrowed time. We didn't see the alert that air activity was detected, so I'd like to think that we're okay for a little bit longer. I'm going to try and get these 2. Yeah, there we go. Bring them over to the edge here. There we go. I don't want to check on the condition of our garden fork again. Not seeing any sprinters running around, which is kind of concerning because I almost prefer to see one running around and know where it is than be wondering if there is a sprinter in the mix. It's a little bit touch and go there. I was a little bit worried about that, but that's fine. We got it. Excuse me, lady. Haven't got all day. Thank you. In fact, we're already up to 3 p.m. getting through all this. We are almost there. Almost. Oh, there is gas. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Nice. Okay. I was hoping we didn't get a Duff engine there after all that. That would have been really heart-wrenching. We go down this little rural pathway rather than the main road to avoid that large group. Okay, amazing. This may give us enough fuel. I think we're good at this point. I'm not sure I've got enough to go driving around, but I believe we have enough to survive the helicopter. Oh, fantastic. That's amazing news. Okay, huge. It's a survival vehicle. And fire-hardened spears is on this magazine. This was the one I was talking about earlier. And we can bind spearheads as well now. So now the question is, which of our 2 vehicles are in better condition? So we'll pop the trunk, or as we call it, the bonnet. And the main thing I want to look at here is the battery in pretty good condition and the engine's in pretty good condition. So I think it's going to be this one. I think it's going to be the pickup. Couple of nosy neighbors. I don't know where this one's off to. Excellent. Okay. Oh, finally. A little bit of luck. I think that's definitely going to be the preferred vehicle for this, but let me just double check. Make sure I do my due diligence here. Yeah, the engine and battery is lower condition. Right, okay. So what I'm then going to do, now that we've identified our noble steed, instead of our not so noble steed, I'm going to pack a bit of a go bag in the back of the trunk. We already have a sleeping bag, so that's kind of helpful in a pinch. I'm also going to grab a pillow, some food, and some spare weapons. And that's what we're going to put in the back of the vehicle, just in case, for any reason, we get stuck out on the road. Now, the only instance really that's going to happen is if I crash or if zombies do too much damage to the car, but I would rather be safe than sorry. So we are going to pack some extra supplies in the car. So what do we need? I would say we want extra water, grab some non-perishable foodstuffs. Is this strictly necessary? No. I believe that, especially in Extinction, anything can happen, and it pays just to have some backup options. Got a weapon in the back as well, a spare weapon. I'll carve myself another spear. We've got a couple of backup weapons. What else do we need? Water. We could throw a pillow in there as well. I would say a box of nails, because you never know when you might find a new location you want to barricade. We definitely want our flashlight. We want our respirator filters and our half mask. I think that's about as good as it's gonna get. And let's just see how much gas we actually have in the tank right now. Perfect. Okay, that should be plenty. Guess we'll find out. before we go on to day 7, I think. We're winding down pretty early, but we've also had a pretty active day, so I'm aware that our character will likely be out of breath. Now, if the helicopter doesn't show up on day 7, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep working towards the school. That's my plan. Actually, one last thing. 94.6 is the emergency broadcast frequency. Before I forget, because I will forget if I don't do this, I'm going to tune that into the car's radio. Emergency 94.6. Speeds through some reading here, and then it will be time for sleep. Then we have another day ahead of us where I'm expecting that we may have to deal with the helicopter, and if not, we'll head to the school. But for the time being, that's it for day 6.